Have you ever watched someone in their 70s, 80s, or even 90s walk with strength, climb stairs without hesitation, and live life entirely on their own terms? It's not just impressive, it's inspiring. Keeping your legs strong as you age isn't just about fitness or looking good. It's one of the clearest signs of independence, confidence, and quality of life. But here's the truth. This kind of strength doesn't happen by chance. People who maintain their mobility well into their later years do so with intention. They stay active, eat mindfully, and make sure their bodies are getting the right kind of support, especially when it comes to nutrients. That brings us to something most folks don't talk about enough. Our modern food supply isn't what it used to be. Due to soil depletion and industrial farming practices, many of the nutrients our bodies rely on have become harder to get from food alone. That's why so many older adults turn to supplements. And while supplements can be helpful, they can also quietly cause harm if used the wrong way, especially to your legs, your balance, and your ability to move freely. In this video, we're going to uncover 5 common vitamins that, when misused, could actually weaken your legs over time. One of them may be doing more damage than you think, and it's something many people take daily. If you care about staying active, steady, and independent, stick with me. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so this important information reaches those who need it most. Let's get started. Let's start with one of the most talked about vitamins out there, vitamin D. You've probably heard it's essential for strong bones and a healthy immune system, and it is. But there's something most people don't know about this so-called sunshine vitamin that could make a big difference in how your legs feel day to day. Vitamin D's main job is to help your body absorb calcium so your bones stay dense, your muscles function properly, and your nerves fire the way they're supposed to. And as we age, our natural production of vitamin D slows down, especially if we're not spending much time in the sun. That's why so many older adults turn to D3 supplements. It seems like a smart choice, but here's the catch. When you take vitamin D on its own, without pairing it with 2 essential nutrients, vitamin K2 and magnesium, your body may not know where to send all that calcium. Instead of heading into your bones, calcium can build up in your muscles, joints, and even arteries. And that's when the trouble begins. Tightness, cramping, stiff legs, even pain in your calves when walking. It's your body telling you, hey, something's off. In fact, researchers at the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that people who regularly took more than 4,000 IU of vitamin D per day without balancing it with K2 and magnesium were at greater risk of muscle issues, arterial calcification, and long-term mobility problems. I once worked with a man named George, a 73-year-old retired mechanic. Great guy. He'd started taking 5,000 IU of D3 daily, thinking it would help his bones. But after a few weeks, he was waking up almost every night with painful leg cramps. He thought he just needed to stretch more. But once we looked at what he was taking, we realized he wasn't getting any magnesium or K2. He adjusted his supplements, and within 2 weeks, those cramps had stopped completely. Sometimes it's not about doing more, it's about doing things the right way. So what is the right way? Most experts recommend sticking with 800 to 1,000 IU of vitamin D3 per day unless your doctor tells you otherwise. To help your body actually use it well, pair that with about 90 to 120 micrograms of vitamin K2, ideally in the MK7 form, and 300 to 400 milligrams of magnesium. Magnesium glycinate or citrate tends to be easiest on the stomach. And don't forget the natural stuff. Just 15 to 30 minutes of gentle sunlight on your skin a few times a week can help your body make vitamin D naturally. Eating foods like salmon, egg yolks, and mushrooms can give you a nice boost too. In my own routine, I take a low-dose D3 in the winter, paired with magnesium and K2, but I focus more on my plate, grilled fish, spinach, and sunny walks whenever I can get them. I like to say, strong legs start with smart choices. It's not about how much you take, it's about how well it works together. Let's keep going. There's another nutrient people take for bone strength that might not be helping your legs the way you think. Now, while we're talking about strong bones and the importance of calcium, let's clear up one of the biggest misunderstandings I see, especially among older adults. Calcium is absolutely essential. We all know that. It helps build and maintain the structure of your bones, keeps your teeth healthy, and supports proper muscle contraction. Without enough of it, bones can become fragile and muscles may feel weak or twitchy. So it's no surprise that calcium supplements are one of the most common go-tos for people over 60. But here's the part that often gets overlooked. Calcium doesn't work in isolation. If you're taking calcium on its own, especially in large doses, and not pairing it with vitamin D, 3K2, and magnesium, you might actually be doing more harm than good. That's because your body needs all three of those co-nutrients to tell calcium where to go. Without them, calcium can drift off course, building up in places it shouldn't, like your arteries, your joints, and yes, even in your leg muscles. And what happens then? Tightness, stiffness, poor circulation, that heavy leg feeling that makes every step a little harder than the last. A large-scale review published in the British Medical Journal even found that older adults who took calcium supplements without vitamin D had a higher risk of heart problems and lower overall mobility. It's a serious reminder that more calcium isn't always better, especially when it's taken without its natural partners. So how do you get calcium the right way? Whenever possible, I encourage getting it from real food. That's how your body was designed to absorb it. Bok choy, almonds, tofu, and sardines are all rich in bioavailable calcium, and they come with other nutrients that help your body process it safely. Not to mention, they taste pretty great too when prepared right. If your doctor recommends a supplement, make sure it's part of a well-rounded formula that includes D3, K2, and magnesium. And don't forget to ask if you really need it in the first place, especially if you're already eating plenty of leafy greens, nuts, or fish. In my own experience, I've found that when older adults focus on getting calcium through meals instead of just relying on pills, they feel lighter, less stiff, and more energized. The body responds better to food because food speaks the language your cells understand. I like to say, real food delivers calcium in the safest, most natural way. Your plate is your best pharmacy. So let's keep going, because there's another vitamin that might sound helpful on the label, but it's not always doing your legs any favors. Now, while calcium often gets all the attention when it comes to bone health, there's another vitamin that plays a quiet but important role in how well your body moves, and more specifically, how steady you feel on your feet. That's vitamin E. Vitamin E is well known for its antioxidant power. It helps protect your cells from damage, supports your immune system, and contributes to good heart health. Sounds like a winner, right? But like anything, too much of a good thing can start to work against you. You see, vitamin E is fat-soluble, which means it gets stored in your body, not flushed out like vitamin C or the B vitamins. And here's where it gets tricky. Many older adults unknowingly take high-dose or synthetic forms of vitamin E, especially from inexpensive multivitamins or single supplements labeled as DL-alpha tocopherol. That version may look harmless on the label, but studies have shown that large doses, especially above 400 IU per day, can actually impair nerve function and muscle control. And in older adults, that can translate into things like fatigue, unsteadiness, slower reaction times, or even an increased risk of falls. One large-scale study even found that high-dose vitamin E supplementation was associated with higher all-cause mortality, which is a fancy way of saying more risk, not more benefit. That's not what we're aiming for, especially when we're trying to stay mobile and independent. So how can you make sure you're getting enough vitamin E without overdoing it? Most experts recommend about 15 milligrams per day, and the best way to get that is through food. Some of the best sources are sunflower seeds, almonds, spinach, and avocado, foods that are not only nutritious but also pretty easy to incorporate into your daily meals. Personally, I rarely suggest high-dose vitamin E supplements unless there's a clear medical reason and a doctor guiding the process. In most cases, a colorful plate full of whole foods does the job beautifully. As I like to say, if your meals are colorful and varied, chances are you're already getting the vitamin E you need. Let's keep this going, because there's another vitamin, one that's often praised for its benefits, that may be quietly doing damage to your bones and legs if you're not paying attention. And if you're still here with us, thank you. That already means you care about your health. If this video has helped you in any way so far, just drop a number 1 in the comments below. That's our little way of knowing you're still with us. and that we're walking this journey together. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button and the little bell icon. That way, you won't miss the next simple habit or small tip that could help you feel stronger, steadier, and more free day by day. Now, while vitamin E may raise concerns in high doses, there's another vitamin, one that flies even more under the radar, that can quietly chip away at your leg strength and bone health if you're not careful. That's vitamin A. Most of us think of vitamin A as the go-to for vision, and it's true, it plays a key role in maintaining healthy eyes, a strong immune system, and even your skin. But what's not often talked about is how too much vitamin A, particularly the preformed kind found in many supplements, can actually do more harm than good. Vitamin A is fat-soluble, which means it gets stored in your liver and fat tissue. Over time, especially if you're unknowingly stacking multiple supplements, say a multivitamin, an immune booster, and a bone health blend, it can quietly build up in your body. And the result? Thinner bones, greater fall risk, and weaker legs. A major review published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that older adults who consumed high levels of preformed vitamin A were more likely to have reduced bone mineral density and a significantly higher risk of hip fractures. That's a serious red flag for anyone trying to stay steady on their feet. The tricky part is, most people don't realize how much they're getting. Vitamin A is one of those nutrients that hides in plain sight across a lot of pills. One label says, great for bones. Another says, supports immunity. And suddenly you're far over the recommended limit without meaning to be. So how do you get it right? The safe upper limit for preformed vitamin A is 3,000 micrograms, or 10,000 IU per day. But honestly, most people don't need that much, especially if you're eating your veggies. The better choice is to focus on beta-carotene, a plant-based form of vitamin A that your body can safely convert as needed. You'll find it in sweet potatoes, carrots, butternut squash, and dark leafy greens like spinach and kale. Personally, I've always trusted my grocery list more than my supplement shelf when it comes to vitamin A. I make sure to eat colorfully: roasted carrots in the winter, sautéed kale in the spring, and a baked sweet potato now and then. My rule of thumb: if you eat your veggies, you probably don't need extra A. More isn't always better. It's about the right amount. And with that in mind, let's talk about one more vitamin, one that's often praised for energy and nerve support, but when taken in excess, can actually leave your legs feeling numb and unsteady. Vitamin B6 is often seen as the feel-good vitamin. It plays a major role in brain function, helps your body make red blood cells, and supports a healthy nervous system. It's also involved in how your body uses energy from protein. So yes, it's important. But here's where things get tricky. Because B6 is water-soluble, many people assume it's completely safe at any dose. The thinking goes, whatever I don't need, I'll just pee out. But that's not entirely true, especially when it comes to long-term use at high levels. When you take too much vitamin B6, particularly over 100 milligrams per day, it can begin to damage your nerves. You might start with a little tingling in your feet or hands, then it becomes numbness, a burning sensation, and eventually some people notice trouble walking, poor coordination, or even frequent falls. Research published in Neurology has linked prolonged high intake of B6, often from a mix of multivitamins, energy drinks, or high-dose B-complex formulas, to a condition called sensory neuropathy, where your nerve endings get damaged. And once those nerves are irritated, it can take months or longer to fully heal if they recover at all. I once spoke with a client who had been taking a B-complex supplement for energy, along with a multivitamin and a mood support blend, all of which had B6. On paper, none of them looked extreme. But when we added it up, she was taking over 200 milligrams a day. Her symptoms, numb toes, loss of balance, a weird buzzing feeling in her calves, weren't just aging. They were warning signs. So how much is enough? For most older adults, the recommended daily intake of B6 is 1.5 to 1.7 milligrams. Unless your doctor has given you a reason to go higher, it's smart to keep your total under 20 milligrams per day, including everything from supplements, shakes, or fortified foods. The best way to get your B6? Through food. Bananas, chickpeas, salmon, potatoes, they're all rich in B6 and much easier for your body to manage. As I always remind people, Even water-soluble vitamins can go too far. Protect your nerves. Your legs will thank you. And now that we've gone through all five, let's bring everything together and talk about what you can do today to keep your legs and your whole body feeling strong and steady. So now that we've uncovered these hidden risks, the next question is, what can you actually do about it? The good news is, you don't need to overhaul your entire routine. Sometimes the smallest shifts can bring the biggest results, especially when it comes to your legs, your nerves, and your energy levels. Start by taking a close look at your current supplements. What are you taking daily? Are you possibly doubling up without even realizing it, say through a multivitamin, a bone health formula, and an immune booster all at once? Next, prioritize real food as your main source of nutrients. Nature's packaging, leafy greens, seeds, fish, sweet potatoes, comes with the perfect balance of vitamins, minerals, and cofactors your body already knows how to use. Check your labels. Make sure you're not overloading on just one thing, especially fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, or E. And whenever you take vitamin D, remember, it works best when paired with K2 and magnesium. Balance is everything. And don't underestimate the basics: daily movement, good hydration, and spending a little time in the sun. These simple habits help your body absorb nutrients, support muscle and nerve function, and keep you feeling grounded. Finally, always check in with your doctor or healthcare provider before making big changes. They can help guide you safely, especially if you're taking medications or managing other conditions. You don't have to do it all at once. Just start with one small step and let it build from there. If your legs have been feeling weaker, stiffer, or just not like they used to, don't be too quick to blame it all on age. Today, we uncovered something important. 5 common vitamins that many people take with the best of intentions can actually work against your strength if they're used the wrong way. We learned that vitamins like D, E, A, B6, and even calcium are powerful tools, but they need to be in balance. They need to be taken with the right support, at the right dose, and ideally alongside real food. When you understand what your body truly needs, not just more, but the right kind, you take back control. You start to feel more steady, more energized, and more confident in your movement. So here's what I'd love to know from you. Are you currently taking any of these vitamins? Have you ever felt changes in your balance, your strength, or your legs after starting a supplement? Leave a comment and share your experience. It might help someone else feel less alone and more informed. And if you found this video helpful, take a second to like it, share it with a friend or family member, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the tips and tools that help you stay strong and independent. Your legs carry you through life. Let's protect them, one smart choice at a time.